You cannot escape from death.
You know what I was thinking about? A lot of people have been saying like, oh, Moonsaw, you're coping so hard. They did one good update and you're going on and on and on about this their listening thing. And the reason why that I've been doing that is because, one, I do think this update is a pretty big like statement. You could go all the way back until like somewhere in Tekken 7 where things went left and they never recovered. Launch Leroy, terrible. Launch Fakuram, terrible. Charge for frame data, terrible. Kunimitsu, terrible. Lydia, terrible. 5.0 update, terrible. Tekken 8 beta, we had a lot of fun, but it was awful. The combos, etc. Right? After Tekken 8 launch, they had full screen Devil Jin, Heat Smashes, Azena, Yoshi's Flash was incredible. And then even when they addressed that, in the same update, they broke the game and they made stages not work properly. And then immediately after that, they attacked, modders, which is something that's like, Tekken has an insane modding community. And then after that, they released 333 Eddie. After that, they released Lydia. After that, they released Heihachi, retconned his story, and then they charged $5 for a stepper stage. After that, they banned the guy for being Chinese. After that, they gave us Clive. Tifa's about to be in Street Fighter 6. That's crazy, bro. After that, they lied and gave us Anna. After that, you see what I mean? It just keeps going on and on and on. And with this last update that they did, this is the first update in like 6 years that is just a good update. There is no weird monetization. There is no weird statement from the developers. There is no compensation buffs. It's just a good update. And that is why I say it's a big statement, and that's why I'm so happy, is because they finally did it. They finally did it. If they could just do that one more time, it would be great. And then do that one more time, because a lot of people say that they miss the days when the developers talk on Twitter, and I missed it too. Who missed it more than a Moonsaw Slayer, right? Moonsaw used to make videos about one tweet that Harada would say. Harada would be like, Ganryu, ? Moonsaw would make one video about it. He would talk about it 5 hours on the stream. It's like, bro, how can you yap that much about Ganryu? One word, Moonsaw would do it though, right? So I love Harada's tweets a lot. But then also, I could see the negative sides of it. I could see the sides of it where they were like just ranting on people, popping off, getting crazy, and it would backfire. I think that the trade-off is good, right? I think that we don't get the good tweets, but we don't get the game-altering tweets either, right? But also, a lot of that was just Harada. If Harada was still here, he would still tweet. He's just not here anymore. It's Nakatsu's turn. Nakatsu, for those of you who don't know, is the guy who's in charge. He's Harada's replacement. He took over in Tekken 7 Season 3. That's why the Season 3 DLC was so different from what came before. He took over then. Harada was just like, he got promoted, so he was kind of like the overseer, just giving approvals. But all control was given to Nakatsu. And Nakatsu since then pushed the game in a crazy direction. And in a interview from Season 1, it was published sometime during Season 2. He basically said that the characters he's most proud of is Reina and Lid. The fact that those two characters are his like crowning achievements, it says a lot about this game. Even though Reina isn't like broken, her gameplay is obnoxious. Everyone dislikes the forward 4-2 spam. Everyone dislikes it. And the fact that he just likes those forward 4-2 into stances characters, and that's like the, it's kind of crazy. So I'm just scared people are going to get more of the same, sadly. I expect it to be bad next patch. Not entirely because of Kuni, but just don't believe they can do the patch like the last. There is too much data against it. Well, I made a video, bro, kind of talking about, because the reason why I also feel so positive is because of how this update happened. There was a Tekken 8 developer who left the company, and he left the same time as Harada. His contract expired, so his job was done, basically, right? He didn't get fired. His contract was just done, right? And he said when he left the company, basically at the end of December, he had this update that they just released was not in development, and he had no knowledge of it, and he was surprised by it. So that basically means that this update was put together at the last second in kind of a scramble. And when you think about what could have caused that, a few things. One, season 3 was getting review bombed again. Like, it was in the process of getting review bombed. People were memeing on Back to Basics. People were talking about, like, I'm quitting. Like, that whole week, people were like, I'm quitting, I'm quitting, I'm quitting, I'm quitting. Back to Basics, Back to Basics, Back to Basics. This is trash, trash, trash. I'm done. And then that was happening. The next week, they announced we got another patch coming. And then they released that patch, and it's one of the best patch that they released in years. We could be wrong, and we could have just got lucky with them doing something lucky. But just from the way that it happened, and with the little information we know, it seems like they put that patch together in the last minute to address criticism and try to salvage something about the game. Now, they could have done that just to save face, but the fact that they say that more updates is coming, like they're going to do another balance update with Kunimitsu, and then they even said in the thing that I just read that more updates is coming after that. So that probably means Bob and Roger's going to have a patch as well. There may even be some emergencies in between, who knows? But the fact that they are committed more now to doing stuff, where in season 2 they was not, it just, to me, it seems like something's different. But I mean, I'm just trying to put the pieces together. I could be totally wrong. I could be horribly wrong, but I'm just putting the pieces together. And so far, all the pieces that I have shows that we're moving in a different direction. I mean, even take into consideration the feedback Discord. We thought that thing was a joke. We thought that they created that just to move the conversation off of Twitter. But we see that they're actually using that to make the game better. Since the introduction of the feedback Discord, they have been banning so many other players. The number of bans jumped up from like 3 to like 40, 50. Let me see how many people are banned right now. 251, last updated 21 hours ago, and these are permanent. Red means permanent ban, yellow means temporary. So it's like they're actually taking what is put on, and this is just them addressing cheaters and whatnot. And there's 15 pages, but we don't need to look at 15 pages of red and yellow. You get the point. Even with the previous update that they did, a lot of the stuff that they addressed came from the feedback Discord. So there's a lot of reasons why I say they're listening, because you can see that they're listening to what's being put into the feedback Discord. You can see that they responded when people were angry about season 3, even though they didn't respond in season 2. But see, here's something you also got to take into consideration. In season 2, it was, I'll call them Dev Team B, right? When Nakatsu took over in season 3 of Tekken 7, for some reason, he put in a new balancing team as well. This is why the DLC characters were so much stronger in season 3. But then also, this is why their hitboxes were broken. Fakamram, Kunimitsu, Lydia had some issues. This is also because the dev team that Nakatsu installed, which is, we're just going to call them Dev Team B, they were less skilled than the previous team, and it shows in not only the way that they balanced the game, but in the how buggy they were. Harada, one of his final acts before he retired was to get rid of Dev Team B and bring back Dev Team A. Dev Team A was the people who made the game before Nakatsu took over, and Nakatsu replaced him. Basically, when Nakatsu took over, they wanted to do this thing where it's like the new developers are taking over. All the developers who've been working on the game since Tekken 3 and 5, those guys are like 40, 50, however old, right? They wanted to bring in like the new generation. But the new generation just was not prepared. The way that and you could even remove the balancing aspect. How many characters and patches did they do? One made no sense at all, changed the core philosophy of the game, or two just didn't work. They broke walls, they broke floors, the characters' hitboxes didn't work properly. It was all Dev Team B. I say all that to say that when Harada got rid of Dev Team B and brought in Dev Team A, one thing I was asking people, right? I was like, if you were brought in to fix someone else's mess, how much time would you realistically need to do so? Because people were like, oh, why won't they do something now? And I'm like, it's a different dev team, bro. They have to go in there and figure out the code. They got to figure out the this, the that. They got to get up to speed. It's not so simple to where it's like, all right, all of you guys get out the room. and then other people walk in. It's like, no, there's a lot of like information. Okay, what were you working on? Where'd you leave off? Okay, well, why were you doing it like this? Okay, well, now you got to do it like that. And then after months of, like let's say a month of doing that, right? Because for those of you who work at a job, you know how long you got to shadow someone before you take over, right? So they were probably doing that for however long. And then once they finally were caught up to speed, then they could start trying to fix the game. Now, to be fair, the first thing that they did was give Victor that new charge up garbage move, right? And that move was awful. So they were off to a bad start. But as soon as Dev Team A, the replacement team, the original team returning, as soon as they got backlash, emergency patch, more updates to come. We're targeting this, we're targeting that. Also, created the dev feedback portal. We're going to start listening to this. We're going to start doing that. I brought up the website where you can see that they're still doing stuff 21 hours later or 21 hours ago. So that's why I say I'm not trying to convince anyone of anything. I'm just explaining to you guys why I believe. Now, they could let me down. In this next update, I could be like these idiots. But right now, when I just look at all of these different things, because like I've researched it, right? Like I made videos about some of this stuff, right? So that's kind of how I know how all of these things happen. So like with all of this information, and this is why I'm passing it on to you guys. Do whatever you want with the information. Believe, don't believe, we'll see. Actually, don't believe me, right? I want you guys to stay skeptical and let the game prove it to you. Don't let me prove it to you. Let the game speak for itself, right? But I'm just telling you why I believe, why I at least one more good update. Once they stop saying that the updates is targeting heat and this and that, who knows? But as long as they keep talking about, oh, we're targeting heat and excessive this and reward on hit, as long as they keep saying stuff like that, I mean, how can I knock them?